Open class? Ornaments? Number 70. Thanks. Yep. So I pulled 70.
So we just got done checking in at the Red Bluff Outlaws for points race number 7. I pulled pill number 43, so that's kind of right between the middle because I think for the OIs it only goes up to 100. So hopefully I go out in a good group. But I wanted to point something out this week. On the track, if you guys look at the berm, it's not that tall this week. And most of the time it's a lot bigger. Like in previous races, a couple drivers have gotten into it and flipped a couple times, but I don't think that would be an issue tonight because there's not that big of a berm.
And another thing, I pulled pill 20, 22 or 23. And another thing about the racetrack is it's way flatter. It doesn't have as much banking. So it's still going to be a long way around the top, but it'll be a lot shorter than usual.
I drew pill 70 this week, so I'm deep in for qualifying. Hopefully there will be not many lower numbers, but on the track, like Brent was saying, the banking is gone and the crease down here is like non-existent. Usually sometimes, like if you're throwing a slider, like you can hit it and it bucks the car up, but there's nothing there, so hopefully it'll be like a smooth transition, nice and fast this week.
What's up, guys? Just a quick check-in. There's 21 250s. We haven't gotten the car yet for qualifying. The track right now is super heavy. It's really hooked up. So, yeah, we're going to see if we can go lay down a quick lap and hope for the best. See you after qualifying.
So we just went out and checked out the track. It looks really greasy right now. We were watching the beginners or the box stocks. I can't remember what class mud packs, but they were getting a little practice laps in. It looks really greasy right now. Can't wait to see what the track looks like later on. Hopefully it's pretty racy tonight. Hopefully we got there, we qualified top 10. That's my goal for today.
So we just got done going up and watching the track for mud pack. The track looks like it's rolling in pretty nice and smooth in some areas. In other spots it looks like it's really rough like it normally is. But after looking at it in 3 and 4, the berm looks a lot more square than 1 and 2, how we guys showed you guys earlier. So hopefully it's not too big of a factor, but it looks like if you clip that, it might upset the car pretty bad. But besides that, we're just getting ready to go qualify here in a little bit. Is making some last minute changes. The first person to get up qualifying is Brent, so hopefully he can give us some feedback of what's going on, and hopefully he qualifies pretty good.
As quickest this group in 8.964. Taylor at 7 at 9206. Taylor 4 at 9507. Number 3 being Junior at 9.639.
was quickest in my group. The core felt good. The one thing we could have changed is we could have gone up on the right rear tire pressure a little bit, because it was rolling over and you could feel it in the car, and that could be a little bit of time. And the track was like on its prime. It was really, really fast. If you lifted, you were gonna get tight and not be good. Right now the track's hero dirt, and what we mean by that is if you lift, you're gonna junk a car. So we were wide open, and so we're gonna have fun the rest of the night. See you in a couple minutes.
Watching back at home on fastforwardmedia.com. Next group on the racetrack includes car number 97 of Casey Smith, the 3R of Blake Rauscher on track. Lee Jr. from and the number 9B of Chase.
I just got done with my qualifying and the car was not good at all. It was popping wheelies all over the place. I couldn't drive it. So we came back and made some adjustments. So hopefully we can go out. I know I'm not going to be starting good in my heat race. So we're going to hopefully go out there and make the best of it.
So I just got done with qualifying. I haven't seen the results yet. I don't think I did that good. We didn't get to warm up my car, and so the car wasn't really running right. We put too low of a tire pressure in the right rear, so it was kind of hopping a lot. So because it was hopping really bad coming out of the corners, I didn't want to get too close to the wall and hit it. I'd rather just qualify not as good and still have a raceable car. So I didn't come down the straightaways. I didn't come up high enough on the straightaways, so that kind of messed up my corner entry. So I don't think I really qualified that good, but hopefully I can redeem myself in the heat race.
it as hard as you can run it, okay? Like Evan said, if it feels boggy, push the wing forward. If it feels like it hitting the rev limiter, pull the wing back. There's nowhere to put them. Yeah, just pull them forward and let them dangle for now. Have to look in the helmet bag. If there's another piece of Velcro, we'll stick them. Okay?
Facing right direction again, and keep this race back a little bit.
wherever the world may take you. Choose Christensen Automotive.
Green flag in the air. Gotta be in the top 4 at the end of this one, otherwise you're headed home. Out front, it's the 2 of Austin Anderson leading the 3 via Juliana Vieira. 22K, Kaylee Burgess in 3rd, and the 3 of Taylor Fuller in the 4th spot. Here we go, lights out, ready to go back to green. 250B feature back underway. Oh, we got one parked over in turn 2. Yellow going to come out with 5 laps completed, and that'll be 2 on the 3 of Taylor Fuller. Her night will come to an end. Back to green here in this 250B main event. Austin Anderson continues to lead with coming around to 8 laps completed here in this B main. Juliana Vieira in second. Brent Rauscher is third. And Jennifer Osborne now into the fourth spot as Vieira takes the lead away from Austin Anderson. Juliana Vieira, your new leader, with 9 laps completed. Field, oh boy. Oh no, oh, we're taking more of them. Your leader gets tangled up with the slower car of Kayla Maher. So Austin Anderson, your leader now. Brent Rauscher second. Kaylee Burgess third. And Dalton Schrum now in fourth. Green flag back in the air. 4 to go, this time by the stripe. 11 laps completed. Austin Anderson leads Brent Rauscher. Kaylee Burgess runs third. Here comes Rauscher with the haymaker. He'll take the lead. Brent Rauscher, your new leader in front of Austin Anderson, Kaylee Burgess, and Jennifer Osborne. A warning being given to Brent Rauscher as we are set to see the white flag the next time by. One lap to go for your leader, Brent Rauscher. Down the back straightaway, trying to find a way by the 11 car. Oh, he's going to spin out and lose it. Checkers. Austin Anderson, Jennifer Osborne, Juliana Vieira, and Dalton Schrum transfer.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Rauscher Racing Weekly. I'm your host, David Rauscher, with my brother,
Derek Rauscher.
Here it is, Sunday morning-ish. We just got back from points race number 7 with the Red Bluff Outlaws, where the boys had an okay showing. Some did better than others. Some drove harder than we've seen.
Yes.
Others tried real hard and didn't quite get the results that everybody was kind of hoping for, but
Yeah.
it was a late night again. Red Bluff again had over 200 cars, so I think a lot of that comes because Oregon's not racing weekly yet because they're shut down.
Yep.
Because their health department sucks. They're threatening on shutting Red Bluff down with the Sacramento Health Department because they're just all up everybody's butt about masks and all that BS still, but that is what it is. We'll play by the games that we have to play so that we can go play and have fun. So
Yeah, it sucks having to wear the mask in the building, but we do what we got to do so we can keep racing.
right,
So
exactly. But yeah, as a weekend of racing, I think it, like I said, it went decent. Evan made an A main again. He's only ran the intermediate opens twice now at Red Bluff, and he's made it the A main each time, which is pretty cool. Brent didn't qualify the greatest, but he drove his butt off. That's for damn sure.
yeah, he was on a mission. He had a point to prove,
Right.
and he missed it. He didn't drive as hard as he needed to in the heat race, but when it came B main, he started sixth and made it up. Made a good aggressive move to get the lead, and he set sail. He had over a straightaway lead. That's the biggest lead I've seen a 250 have at that track ever.
Yeah, Brent was on it. When he got the lead, when he got to the clean air and he wasn't being held up by traffic, he set some really good laps, hit his marks, and he looked probably the best I've seen him drive.
Yeah.
You know, in the 250 class, he looked really good.
And then he ran down a lapper, and he kind of made an indecisive move. He wasn't sure what he wanted to do.
Right.
And got collected, didn't transfer. He came 25 feet from making the checkered flag. So.
Yeah. He
was.
I think us standing in the pits were a little indecisive watching him. Which way is he going to go? And this kid, I don't know. After further discussion with a parent after the race, this kid should be in the box stock class, I feel. He's nowhere near ready for the 250 class. You can see that in his speed and the car control, or lack of car control.
Yes, he couldn't even keep up under yellow flag pace laps. So
right, yeah. So
at that point, the parent has to look at the kid's ability and be like, oh, maybe we shouldn't go to such a tough track with
such a green driver.
Yes.
Yeah, no, just because your kid's old enough to race in a certain class doesn't mean he's ready for it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, being in all of our kids have raced beginners in box stocks, except for Blake. He was a little bit older when he started, but the other two, they raced beginner box and box stocks and junior outlaws, and they had a progression. And you know when they're ready, and you know when they're not.
Yeah.
So, and there's some parents that just think at this point their kid's ready to get in a World Outlaws car, and they should be in the beginner class. So
it was rough to watch. Brent was heartbroken. I was heartbroken for him.
Yeah, so was I.
then,
as a fan, just watching, it was a complete bummer.
So, but watching Evan take on the open intermediate class, he was doing a heck of a job, just knocking a little bit of the rust off because he hadn't gotten to race since the showdown.
Yeah,
so.
It's been 2.5, 3 months, something like that, since he's been in the car. So,
and then Blake coming back with a new cage.
Right. Yeah, that thing we got to get figured out. That thing was evil. It was. Last time we were out, he went from practice night to running down one of the fastest the number one driver at Red Bluff, to the next day popping wheelies and not being able to figure anything out, to this week popping wheelies and trying to tip over on its own. I mean, this thing, it was evil to watch. It was it quite frankly, it sucked.
Yeah, he was on two wheels more than he was on four, but
right. Whether it was the right side or the back too, it was, it was a wild night.
At least there was still tires on the ground.
Right. Yeah, we didn't fold the wing up, so that's a step in the right direction from what Blake normally does.
So that's just.
But
it's hard to get a handle on that place. It changes so quick. The dirt changes so quick, and
yeah,
you got to stay on top of it. And if you don't, you're off a tenth of a second, you're almost last.
Right.
So
Oh yeah. It's tough. So
it's a no joke place. So.
right. Yeah. So we'll get the cars out of the box here in just a few minutes, and we'll get to work on them. We're going to put Blake's up on the stand and take some measurements, check it with a level. If it's bent, then obviously we'll be in the market for another chassis. If it's not, then we got to find where the chassis bind is. So it's I don't know. The measuring tape and the level is going to tell the tale, I think. So
They never lie. So,
but yeah. So let's hear a word from our sponsors, and we'll get back with the boys.
sounds good.
Welcome back, guys. I'm Blake Rauscher, driver number 3R, and as you guys may have seen, our qualifying was not very good at all. We qualified almost dead last, which set me up dead last of my heat race, and the car did just not handle how we wanted it to. We made a lot of adjustments from over the weekend, and it solved some of our problems. Like early in the night we had wheelies, and we couldn't get the wheelies to go away until we moved some stuff around, and then finally we got the car to settle down, but it was still bucking. We got the wheelies to go away, but it was just bucking like crazy. So our heat race did not go very good. I'm pretty sure I finished just about dead last where I started. So that set me up very deep for my very dead last of the D main almost. I was like, how many was there? I was like, there was like one row behind me, that was it. And the car just didn't handle. Even on the dry track, like we went and made more adjustments after our heat race, and it just didn't work. And as you may see in our video, Daniel Whitley, he spun out in front of me, and I seen that happen, and I got on the brake, I got on the clutch, I tried to get the car to turn, and it just didn't turn. Like the car just did not handle how we wanted it to over the weekend. So we're home now, it's Sunday, and we were working on the car. We have scaled it and got stuff ready, and now we're gonna try to figure out why. After my D main, I was sitting there, and I was like, I think we have a bent chassis. That's just how it felt. After we made all of those adjustments, I thought that was like the last possible thing. So now that we're home, we're gonna check. So now we're gonna check if it's bent. And to do that today, we don't think the front end of it's bent. We only think the back of it right here is bent. So we're gonna take the axle out, and we're gonna like get everything off over here, and then we're gonna we have a level, and we're gonna level it and check and see. Usually we'd strip the car completely down, take everything off of it, down to the bare chassis, and then we put it on like our flat concrete floor here, and then we'd check it and see where it's bent, but we don't have to do that today. So hopefully now that after we do this, we'll be back next weekend. We want to go back again. Evan wants to race, but I don't know if I will be able to. Hopefully, if we get this fixed, I'll be back on the track and we'll do way better, because last night was just one of our worst races I've had in a while. I've never had anything like that. Like we were dead last and everything, and usually we're competitive, but last night the car was just garbage, and we didn't know why, because we made good adjustments, but we didn't know what to do. So hopefully we are back at it next weekend and we'll do better. Up next is Evan after a word from our sponsor.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Elledge, owner of Factory QRC. Our vision for QRC is to remain a leader in this growing market, whether it's access to the product in person, on the web, or through our growing dealer network, consistent innovation, or just outstanding customer service. We work hard to be a part of every driver's experience in outlaw kart racing. Factory QRC, Championship Outlaw Karts since 1985.
Hey guys, my name's Evan Rauscher, driver of the 07, and right now it's Sunday morning. We just got home from points race number 7 at the Bluff Outlaws, and you guys seen earlier that I did not have such a good qualifying run, and in that qualifying session I qualified 15th out of 23 cars, so that wasn't too bad, depending on how bad my car was handling and how many mistakes I made in that session. But that lined me up to start pretty deep in the heat race, and I started on the inside of the second row, I believe, or something like that. And the kid on the outside, the top was starting to come in the heat races, and he was starting to kind of pull me down the straightaway. And I knew he was going to try to get to the bottom because the bottom was ultimately faster than everything. My setup just wasn't right, and I didn't have that good of a run. And he was trying to shut the door on me, and I knew what he was trying to do, so I was just trying to force the issue and not really let it happen. And one lap, he started to come down, so I kind of pitched it in a little more sideways, and he just kept on coming down even though I was there, and ran over my right front and broke a bolt in the right front, ending my heat race run. So that put me starting 4th for the B main event. But after the heat race, I went back to the trailer. We fixed the bolt that broke off, and then we also made a couple tire adjustments, changed some width of the tires to take some stagger out, and changed a couple spacers in the right rear to tighten me up. But besides that, that was basically all we did. Then we went back down to the pre-grid, and I just kind of get into the mindset of thinking about what I got to do. I was moving up through the pack slowly, just missing the crashes that were happening in front of me. Just being patient, waiting my turn to make the moves that I needed to make to get up towards the front. And there was a yellow on the track, and kept racing back, because at Red Bluff you race back to the yellow, and racing back, I go into turn 3. I came in a little too hot, more than I thought I was going to, and I hit another car. The 11, I think, is what number he is, and instead of wrecking him, I accidentally locked up the brakes and spun myself out. So that ended my night, because for my first race back since the Burris Bullring Showdown, it wasn't the greatest. How I said, qualifying didn't go well, didn't finish my heat race. The only really good part was making the A main event coming out of the B. But so since today's Sunday, on a normal Sunday, we come home and unload the trailer, get all the cars ready, start working on them for the next race that we're going to go to. And when we got back this morning and we got out to the garage and we were working on the cars, we decided to scale them, and we noticed that my numbers on the scales really weren't working right. And then my dad noticed that my right front block was rolled all the way forward, so that explains why my car was very loose and was mostly inconsistent. And then I went to go look at the left front, and it was also rolled forward, so that was no bueno. So we're talking about going and running the Perpetual Trophy Night at Red Bluff next race weekend. But even if me and Blake don't get to it and it's only Brent, you'll still be able to see me and Brent at the track, because since I crew chief for them. So besides that, stay tuned for more updates on Rauscher Racing and Brent Rauscher Motorsports on Facebook.
What's up, guys? Evan just finished, and now I'm going to talk a little about like what we're doing right now. Right now we are cleaning cars after a hard night of racing. I'd like to talk about my heat race. First of all, I qualified horrendously bad. I didn't hit my marks. The car was good. That was all my fault. And then in the heat race, I wasn't as aggressive as I needed to be. I didn't go to the bottom when I needed to go to the bottom. I stayed up on the top too long, and the top 4 pulled away from me. And then at the end of the race, I just didn't have enough time to reel them back in. So that set me up to start 6th in the B main, and they took 4 to the feature. So we took the green. I knew that it was going to be a wreck fest, and it pretty much was a wreck fest. Everybody tried to win into turn 1 because they think turn 1's where you win races. You actually win races by being patient. So I was patient, ran the top for a couple laps, funneled in line on the bottom, and then I was even a little more patient because it was a really long B main. It was 15 laps. So I was really patient. When the holes opened, I took them, and when we got when 2 cars crashed in front of me, I avoided it, and then on the restart, I seen somebody's nose into turn 1, and I chopped it off, and I stayed on the bottom of the racetrack for the rest of the race. I knew if we got another restart, which we did, second and a lap car crashed in front of me, and I tried to go to the top to avoid it, and then they washed up the racetrack, and I got hit, but I was luckily able to stay in second. And then 2 laps after the restart, the race leader washed up in 1 and 2, and I took advantage of it down the backstretch into turn 3. I hit the discs, it bucked the car really bad, but nothing seems bent right now. When it bucked the car, I for sure thought I bent something, but luckily I didn't. I got a black flag warning for it for some reason. I didn't think it was that dirty. The video doesn't show that it was that dirty. I'm still trying to figure out what that call was about. But other than that, and then late, we took the white flag. I'm going down the backstretch. I'm reeling in a lap car. I'm next to him. He knows I'm there. We go into turn 4, and he flat out wipes me out. I was pretty mad, but we'll go back next week. We have the notes we need. We know we have a pretty good understanding and handle on the car now. So we'll go back for points race 8, and we'll go see if we can go win a feature. Thank you for watching. Next up will be Mom's Corner after the commercial break.
Welcome back to Mom's Corner. I'm Samantha Rauscher.
And I'm Kimberly Rauscher.
We are just wrapping up points race 7 this weekend. All 3 boys raced, and so Brent has been out of his car 6 weeks. It seemed daunting to be 6 weeks, and the boys?
Yeah, it's 4 months, almost 4 months is what we've been out. Yes, it's great in theory, right? I'm going to have some time off, but I think 6 weeks just for the regular people on the track last night was a hard comeback.
Yes.
Lots of accidents.
Lots of accidents. We saw a lot of red flags. We saw a lot of just going for it right at the drop of the green, which is just not normal of most racers. You know, they'll wait. Most of them have built a little bit of patience, a few laps. In theory, being off sounds really great. It sounds like, oh, we can get something done. You can't. We actually can't get anything done because we're still racing or doing something race related.
Or we wait until the week of and we're like, hey, this is what we should have done.
Yeah. We're going to go watch at least or something like that. So we are ecstatic to be back in the car. All 3 boys did very well for getting back in after having some braking. So I thought, the boys talked about their B and their D and what it means to not transfer or transfer. So I thought today we'll talk to you about what it is. We know that where they have to be, and we are counting cars as fast as we can. As soon as they come across, the yellow drops, and we're like, oh, where's this one? Where's that one?
This. I am anyway.
Are we sure that that's it, or is there a lapper in there? And so it's just about where's the cut, how, are we still so far back that we don't know we can make it, or are we right at the cusp and it's one car? And so those are the kind of things that we really talk about under yellow. So
yes. Or we have the whole conversation of that wasn't fair, or this is, it's that conversation when the yellow comes out.
And we don't necessarily hear what they're being told in the radio, so we don't know if they're being warned or asked to step back, or we think this spot is theirs, and you can kind of see they'll be side by side a car, and the next thing they'll fall back. We may not agree, but that's the call, and they have to take that in the moment as a driver. There's no rebutting it. We have a minute or two sometimes to kind of not be happy with it. There's nothing we can do about it, but maybe not be happy with it.
Right, exactly.
So you will see, I think Brent talked to you guys about getting a black flag warning yesterday. So he's gotten a few. He does.
How many has he gotten now?
I think this is his 3rd one this season. He's very vocal today that he did not agree with that warning. I'm not sure, even as his mom or a spectator, that I agreed with it. I think Brent was racing hard. Contact was made. But that's racing. That is why they have bars, and it's a short track.
Yes. I happen not to be up there. Usually I'm up at the track when I'm there. My granddaughter went yesterday, so I didn't get to see it, but it sounds like none of even the guys agreed with the black flag warning. So sometimes we'll differ on those views when we'll be like, oh no, we get it. Where us as the moms up in the stands, we might not understand why. So I think across the board, everybody agreed yesterday that it was uncalled for black flag warning.
Yeah. So Brent was in the B. He made the move, the pass, I guess, for first place, and he came around turn 4, and I thought, this is the moment. He's getting his first B main win in the pavilion, which is a big deal. I think Brent's he knows the stats, and he's been watching, and he's ready for it. So to see him tangle with a lapper was pretty devastating as a mom, just to kind of, you're there and you're pumped and you're excited, and then you just see that car spin around and not cross the checkered. And so as moms, I think we feel that.
Your heart drops when that happens. It really does. I think that's the best way to. You're so geared up and you're so excited, and your nerves are just strung tight, and when they spin or something happens, your heart just sinks.
Yep. And so myself, my walk back, or our walk back to the trailer, is a little bit longer than the guys who are in the pit area. They can go. So in those moments, I will walk a little slower sometimes because my driver's upset, the crew's upset, and they need a minute without caring who they're saying what to at their trailer. And so I just try to give them that space to figure that out. And then once I arrive, we talk about kind of what's next. Did we transfer it all? Did we not transfer? Are we just coming back next week and giving it all we have? Evan, he was the final transfer from the B to the A, and again, we were counting the cars. We were, is he gonna? Is he not? It was.
I think he made it up to second, and then he bobbled and ended up. I think he spun actually, and then he came back to fourth. So. That one was, nerves were tight. Just watching that going, go, 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 yes.
Because watching him, I guess for us it's like, oh, he was locked in, he was good, he was second, they were taking the top 4, all he had to do was just hit his marks and go, which for us sounds really easy and great, right? But there's a lot more going on down there. So when he spun, the question then becomes, how many laps do we have? So we're looking at my laps. We're looking at, does he have the time to get back up there? Did he break anything? Is it bent? So those are all the things that we talk about, but we can't see. There's no communication with the driver back to us. Sometimes the crew and the drivers will hand signal, but we're out of that loop kind of. So we're left to wait until the green flag drops like everyone else and see, can they get up there? Can they make those passes? Can they be aggressive?
Yes, and he was, and I think Evan even said it himself. He got really lucky to get that pass to get back into the B main. It was a big accomplishment, especially there. Just to transfer there to an A main event is a big accomplishment, and a win in our book for the night is like, hey, you made the A main.
Yes. You made the A, we turned some laps, we have notes, you liked your setup or you didn't like your setup, and it kind of tells us where we're at. If they liked their setup, it's great. We know what momentum to build on. If they didn't like it, then it's still, we're in square one, getting them where they're comfortable, getting them where they can make those turns and do those things. As moms, our part is to go to the parts trailer and get a part. Not my funnest part, but that's kind of...
And quickly.
Yes,
run faster.
right now.
You better double time it over there. That's definitely what that is.
Yes, and the thing is, when it's broke, we're against the clock, right, to get the part, let the crew fix it and get them back out there. I think sometimes we, as moms or non-mechanical people, I feel like, well, I don't know what part you're talking about.
What's it called again? I said that a couple of times yesterday, Yeah,
so those are the things as moms in the grandstands that we don't have control, but we're cheering as hard as we can and talking to each other. It's nice to just not be a solo person in the grandstands and have somebody to talk to about, ooh, this is what I saw, this is what you saw. Because sometimes it is our kids' fault, and we know that. I mean, we don't think they're perfect, but
we don't say it right then. We don't. We're like, no, it wasn't their fault. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, we watch the replay and we slow mo it, and then we remind them.
Because in that moment, we think they're perfect.
That's true. That's true.
My kid would never. Yeah, no, it's we know that they aren't perfect. They do make mistakes, and it is fun to sit up there and talk and be able to be like, have that, companionship where we have those conversations and can watch the kids together.
Yeah, and I think, so it was T-Money's first time at Red Bluff, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so
she's been to Cycleland a few times. This was her first Red Bluff experience. She's walking, so that's a new experience. She's a little more mobile.
Kind of thought every pit area was hers. It had a race car in it, so
why
couldn't she go over there?
Oh yeah, she did. She made some friends.
Yep.
They brought out some cars and more cars, and I think she enjoyed that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun to take her. She loves her race cars, and she has nothing to do with the small ones. I think we're in trouble when we do put her in a car. I think we're gonna have to just start her in an open because of the ones that she likes.
Yeah. The louder the better. She really liked that loudness. I think she knows that her uncles are in those loud ones, so one of them must be hers.
Oh yeah,
right?
she was cheering. We tell her that, there's your Uncle Bubba or Blake, and she does. She sits up there and claps and cheers. So she had a lot of fun.
Sometimes she can see Grandpa down there.
Oh, she was waving at him
out
yesterday.
of reach because, of course, the dads push the cars out, so she could see her grandpa from up there, and that was good.
Yeah, no, she was waving and clapping for him. It was pretty cute.
Yeah.
Tune in every Wednesday to CSTV at 10 o'clock for Rauscher Racing Weekly. You can also follow us on the Rauscher Racing Facebook page, Brent Rauscher Motorsports Facebook page, and the CSTV on Roku.